The red heels hurt so much that I could hardly stand. I was alone in the marble lobby of the hotel when the assistant placed a white envelope in my hand. "He asked me to give you this," she said, like I was someone who had finished a job. I looked at the envelope. My fingers already knew the truth before my mind accepted it. Inside was cash for a car home and a small note. "Thank you for tonight." That was all. No promise. No tomorrow. No, "I will call you." Just 5 words on thick white paper. The man I thought might open a new life for me had gone upstairs to a private dinner without me. I could still hear the soft sound of glasses and laughter above the lobby. Rich people were eating, talking, smiling, and I was standing below them in painful red heels, holding my goodbye money. That was the moment I understood something ugly about myself. I had not been chosen. I had been used. My name is Ava Brooks. I was 24 years old, and I lived in a small apartment in Chicago. My apartment was on the 3rd floor of an old building with thin walls and a heater that made loud sounds at night. I used to study business administration at community college. I did not finish. I told people I left because college was not right for me. I said the classes were boring. I said I wanted real-life experience. I said I could build my own future without sitting in a classroom. Those were the words I used, but the truth was simpler. I was tired. I was tired of studying while other people online seemed to travel, eat at nice restaurants, and wear beautiful clothes. I was tired of working small jobs and still counting every dollar. I was tired of feeling behind before my life had even started. My parents did not understand that feeling, or maybe they understood it too well. My mother worked at a dental office. My father drove a delivery truck. They were not rich, but they were steady. They believed in slow things: school, work, saving money, keeping promises. They wanted me to finish my degree. I wanted my life to change faster. The last argument happened in their kitchen. My mother stood by the sink with her arms crossed. My father sat at the table, quiet and disappointed. "You are quitting because it is hard," my father said. "No," I said. "I am quitting because I want more than this." My mother's face changed. "More than what?" I looked around their small kitchen. The old table, the same coffee mugs, the same clock on the wall. I hated myself for what I said next, but I still said it. More than working your whole life and still worrying about bills. My mother looked away as if I had struck her. My father stood up slowly. "If you are grown enough to throw away school," he said, "then you are grown enough to pay your own way." A week later, they stopped helping with rent. I told myself I was angry, but I was really scared. I found a job as a hostess at a high-end restaurant inside a downtown hotel. The restaurant had tall windows, gold lights, and tables that were always covered in white cloth. My job was simple: smile, check reservations, say, "Good evening," lead people to their tables. At first, I felt proud to work there. I liked the clean black dress the restaurant gave me. I liked standing near the front door, where everyone could see me. Then I began watching the guests. Women came in wearing silk dresses and perfect coats. Men handed keys to the valet without checking the price. People ordered wine that cost more than my weekly groceries. They moved like the world had already said yes to them. I wanted that. Not later. Now. Every night after work, I took the bus home and looked at my phone. I watched women my age getting flowers, bags, trips, apartments with city views. I looked at myself in the dark bus window. I was pretty. People had told me that all my life. At school, teachers called me bright, but boys called me beautiful first. At work, guests noticed my face before they noticed my name. One night, after paying half my rent late, I stood in front of a store window and saw a pair of red heels. They were too expensive for me, too bright, too high, too much. But they looked like another life. I bought them with money I should have saved for groceries. When I wore them, I felt taller. I felt like a woman who belonged in rooms with rich men and soft lighting. I told myself the shoes were an investment. That is how people lie to themselves when they want something badly enough. The first time I noticed Adrian Cole, he was walking through the hotel lobby in a dark coat. He was in his late 50s, maybe older. His hair was silver, but his face was strong. He wore a watch that looked heavy and expensive. People moved differently around him. The manager smiled harder. The valet stood straighter. The bartender remembered his drink before he asked for it. One of the waiters told me he owned buildings downtown. "Real estate," he said. "Very rich, very private." After that, I watched Adrian whenever he came in. He always ate alone or with business people. He never seemed rushed. He never looked at prices. He never looked worried. That was what I wanted most. Not jewelry, not fancy food. No worry. One evening, Adrian stopped at the hostess stand instead of walking past me. "You are new," he said. I smiled. "Almost 3 months now. That still counts as new in a place like this." His voice was low and calm. He looked at me like he had nowhere else to be. "What is your name?" "Ava." "Ava," he repeated. "That suits you." I felt heat rise in my face. He noticed. Of course he noticed. For the next few weeks, he spoke to me every time he came in. Small things at first. A compliment on my hair. A question about my evening. A smile held too long. I knew he was too old for me. I knew it. But I also knew he had money, power, and the kind of life I had started to dream about. One night, after my shift, I found him waiting near the hotel doors. "I am having dinner upstairs tomorrow," he said. "You should join me after work." I should have said no. Instead, I thought about my rent. I thought about the bus. I thought about the red heels in my closet. "I would like that," I said. The next night, I wore the red heels. Adrian took me to a restaurant on the top floor of another hotel. From the window, Chicago looked like a sea of lights. He ordered for both of us without asking if I minded. I did not mind then. I thought it meant he knew what he was doing. He asked very little about my life. He asked if I liked the view. He asked if I liked the food. He asked if I knew how beautiful I looked in red. I told myself that was enough. After dinner, he gave me a designer scarf in a silver box. The scarf was soft, pale blue, and more expensive than anything I owned. "For you," he said. I touched it like it was proof. Proof that I was special. Proof that I had found a door out of my small life. When my mother called that night, I ignored it. When my father left a voicemail, I deleted it without listening. I did not want their worry. I wanted Adrian's world. At work, my co-worker Lena watched me change. Lena was 32 and had worked in restaurants for years. She had kind eyes, but she did not soften the truth. One evening, she saw the scarf in my locker. "That is not from your paycheck," she said. I closed the locker too fast. "It was a gift." "From Mr. Cole?" I said nothing. Lena sighed. "Ava, men like that do not give gifts for free." I became angry because I was afraid she was right. "You don't know him." I know the type. No, I said. You know what it feels like to be jealous. Her face went still. I regretted it immediately, but pride kept my mouth closed. Lena only said, "Be careful that the life you are chasing does not ask for more than you planned to give." I rolled my eyes, but her words followed me home. Adrian kept inviting me out. Nice dinners, private lounges, a car that waited outside my apartment. He bought me a small bracelet, then a black dress, then perfume that smelled like flowers and smoke. Every gift made me feel higher. Every gift made me feel less like the girl taking the bus with tired feet. But there were small things I tried not to notice. He never asked about my classes. He never asked why I left school. He never asked what I wanted to become. He liked when I listened. He liked when I smiled. He liked when I looked beautiful beside him. Once, I started to talk about maybe going back to college. He touched my hand and smiled. "Why fill your head with stress?" he said. "You are young. Enjoy being young." It sounded gentle, but something in it made me feel small. I pushed that feeling away. A week later, Adrian invited me to a private charity event at the hotel where I worked. "You should wear the red heels," he said, "and the scarf." I stood in front of my mirror that night for almost an hour. The red heels, the blue scarf, the black dress. I looked like the women I used to watch. I told myself this was the night everything changed. Maybe he would introduce me properly. Maybe people would stop seeing me as the hostess at the front door. Maybe I would finally step into the life I deserved. At the event, the hotel ballroom was full of flowers, candles, and low music. Everyone had clean hands and expensive smiles. Adrian placed his hand lightly on my back. For the first hour, I felt proud. Then he began introducing me. "This is Ava," he said. "Not my friend, not someone important to me. Just Ava." People looked at me quickly, then looked back at him. I smiled until my face hurt. Later, near a side hallway, I heard Adrian talking to another man. I did not mean to listen. Then I heard my name. "She is pretty," the man said. Adrian laughed softly. "Pretty distractions keep life interesting." My body went cold. The other man said something I could not hear. Adrian answered, "Young women often think gifts mean promises. It is a sad little mistake." I stepped back before they saw me. The ballroom lights looked too bright. The music sounded far away. I went to the restroom and stared at myself as a mirror. The red heels, the scarf, the careful makeup. For the first time, I did not look rich. I looked foolish. When Adrian found me later, he acted as if nothing had happened. "Come," he said. "I need to go upstairs for a private dinner." "Can I come with you?" He paused. Only for a second. But I saw the answer before he spoke. "This part is business." My throat felt tight. "What am I to you, Adrian?" His face changed a little. Not guilt, annoyance. "Ava?" "No," I said. "Please answer me." He looked around the lobby as if my pain might embarrass him. "You are sweet," he said, "and beautiful, but you should not confuse attention with commitment." I felt my face burn. "So what was all this?" He sighed. "Do not make it ugly." Ugly. That word stayed in me. He walked toward the elevator. I stood in the marble lobby, unable to move. A few minutes later, his assistant came down and gave me the white envelope. There was no cruelty in her face. That almost made it worse. She looked like she had done this before. I opened the envelope after she walked away. Cash. A note. "Thank you for tonight." My red heels were cutting into the backs of my feet. I walked out of the hotel slowly. Outside, the air was cold. Cars moved past me like they knew where they were going. I used the money for a car home. I hated that I needed it. In my apartment, I took off the red heels and left them by the door. There were red marks on my feet. One heel had a tiny scratch on the side. I placed the white envelope on the kitchen table. Then I sat on the floor and cried. Not only because Adrian had used me, because I had helped him do it. I had wanted the easy door. I had wanted to be chosen for my face, my dress, my body beside his expensive suit. I had called it control, but it was not control. It was hunger wearing perfume. That night, I finally listened to my father's voicemail. His voice was tired. "Hi, Ava. It is Dad. Your mother and I are worried. You do not have to agree with us. Just call us so we know you are safe." That was all. No anger, no lecture, just worry. I cried harder. The next morning, I put the red heels in a shopping bag. I put on old sneakers and a gray hoodie. I took the train to my parents' house. The house looked smaller than I remembered. Normal, warm, real. I stood at the door for a long time before I knocked. My mother opened it. Her eyes widened. "Ava!" I tried to speak, but my mouth shook. My father came behind her. His face was serious, but his eyes were soft. "I made a mistake," I said. My mother opened the door wider. I stepped inside. The smell of coffee and laundry soap nearly broke me. We sat at the kitchen table, the same table where I had said those cruel words about their life. The shopping bag sat by my feet. I told them everything I could say, not every detail, but enough. I told them I chased money because I was scared of slow failure. I told them I wanted a beautiful life without earning it. I told them I thought being wanted was the same as being valued. My mother cried quietly. My father looked down at his hands. "I am sorry," I said, "for what I said, for leaving school, for acting like your life was something small." My father's voice was low. "Our life was not easy, Ava, but it was honest." "I know." "Do you?" he asked. I wanted to defend myself. I wanted to say I was young, I was confused, I was hurt. But for once I stayed quiet and listened. My mother wiped her eyes. "What do you want from us?" That question hurt, because part of me wanted rescue, rent, money, a soft place to hide. But I knew that would not change me. "I want help making a plan," I said. "Not a free escape." My father looked at me for a long time. Then he nodded. "That is a different answer." It was not easy after that. They did not hand me money and pretend everything was fine. My father helped me call the community college office. My mother sat beside me while I opened my old student account. I found out what classes I could still take. I found out what I owed. The numbers scared me, but they were real numbers, not dreams, not gifts, not envelopes. I sold the red heels online. I did not get back what I paid. That felt right. I used the money for textbooks. I returned the designer scarf to the store for credit and used it to buy a winter coat that did not make me feel like someone else. I kept the white envelope. Empty now. I placed it inside my business textbook. Not because I was proud of it, because I needed to remember. I got a weekend job at a campus coffee shop. The first shift was hard. My feet hurt. My hands smelled like espresso. Customers were rude about small things. But when I walked home with money I had earned, I felt something I had not felt in months. Clean. I went back to class in January. At first, I felt embarrassed sitting with students who seemed younger, smarter, and more prepared. I took notes slowly. I asked questions, even when my voice shook. At night, I studied in the library until the security guard told us it was closing. Some days, I still wanted an easy life. I would see a woman in a beautiful coat step out of a black car, and something inside me would pull toward that old dream. Then I would touch the edge of the white envelope inside my book, and I would remember the lobby, the assistant's polite face, the note, "Thank you for tonight." That memory hurt, but it kept me honest. Months later, the hotel hosted a small business event for local colleges. My coffee shop was asked to serve drinks there. I did not know the event was at the same hotel until the schedule came out. For 1 minute, I wanted to call in sick. Then I put on my black work pants, my plain shoes, and my name tag. I went. The lobby looked the same: marble floor, gold lights, soft music. For a moment, I could almost feel the red heels on my feet again. Then I looked down at my plain black shoes. They were not beautiful, but they did not hurt me. I was carrying a tray of coffee when I saw Adrian Cole near the elevators. He saw me too. His eyebrows lifted. Then he gave me that same slow smile. The smile that once made me feel chosen. "Ava," he said, "it has been a while." I stopped. My heart beat fast, but not because I wanted him, because I remembered who I had been. "Yes," I said. "It has." His eyes moved over my work clothes. "Back to serving coffee?" The old me would have burned with shame. The new me felt the sting, but she did not bow to it. "Yes," I said. "And going back to school?" His smile changed. Maybe he expected me to explain. Maybe he expected me to feel small. I did neither. "Excuse me," I said. "I have work to do." Then I walked past him. No speech, no revenge, no tears, just walking. For the first time, the lobby did not feel above me. It was only a room, and he was only a man inside it. That evening, I studied by the library window while rain moved down the glass. My old white envelope was tucked inside my notebook. My plain shoes were under the table. My coffee was cold, but I drank it anyway. I thought about the red heels. I thought they would carry me into a better life. But they only carried me to a place where I could not respect myself. Now my steps were slower, less beautiful, less exciting, but they were mine. I still want a good life. I still want comfort. I still want nice things one day. But now I want them in a way that does not make me afraid to look in the mirror. Beauty can open a door. Money can make a room shine. Attention can feel like love when you are lonely and scared. But none of those things can build a life you are proud to live in. Only self-respect can do that. Only effort can do that. Only the slow, honest choices you make when no one is clapping can do that. I learned this in the most painful way. A shiny life can still leave you standing alone in a lobby with an envelope in your hand. But a real life, even a small one, lets you walk home with your dignity still yours. If you have ever chased something shiny and later realized it was not worth your peace, would you walk away sooner next time?